If it was taken as such, then that, like I say, that wasn't.
Don't you think that's a huge sexist generalization, though, to say white women, based off of the color of our skin and the way that a lot of us, the majority of us, chose to vote, that means that we are controlled by domineering husbands? I mean, don't you think that's the epitome of sexism?
Look, like I say, I don't. She's the darling of the Democratic Party. She's paid her dues to society. She's held many high offices. She's been greatly accomplished in her life. And so,
yeah, that's all fine. But this comment, I mean,
yeah,
this
I understand.
comment, I think Democrats can still say, listen, this comment was repellent without it negating what they think of her as a whole. I mean, I don't quite understand why Democrats won't. The Clintons aren't in power anymore. Democrats have nothing to lose by saying this. The only thing they have to lose is their credibility, because they claim to champion women. They claim to champion women's autonomy. They claim to fight sexism, to fight the patriarchy. Yet their darling, the darling of the left, the person that the Democrats chose to run as their representative, their candidate for president, is literally telling women that they're not thinking for themselves if they vote any way other than the way that she thought that they should vote.
And the Democratic Party has upheld all of those principles that you've just cited. But one bad statement or one inelegant statement from a former candidate for president of the United States does not make that person a bad person. You have
That's
to take
not what
people,
I'm asking. I'm not asking you to say that she's a bad person. You can think she's a good person and still think that what she said and still condemn what she said, still think what she said was sexist.
Yeah, you're
and I
right.
don't understand why Democrats aren't. I mean, if we put this in an opposite perspective, if a Republican candidate had said this, had said, listen, all these women voted for Barack Obama because they were told to do so by their husbands because they're too dumb to think for themselves, the media and Democrats would go wild. Even Republicans, I would sit up here and condemn whatever Republican said that. I don't understand the double standard.
Well, I guess if there's a double standard, the double standard is that the president of the United States has said and been accused of some of the most lurid things ever pointed at any one individual that's been in public office. So, and the base of the Republican Party, the conservative base, certainly hasn't responded as I believe they would have responded had President Obama been accused of the things.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, though. So you have a problem with the alleged sexism of President Trump, yet you won't even admit, you won't even say the words. You say inelegant, you say inartful, but you won't even say this comment, this individual comment, isolated in and of itself, not as a commentary on her career, this individual comment was sexist from Hillary Clinton.
Well, if you isolate it to that one individual comment, I would say that a reasonable person might likely perceive that as a sexist comment. If you just isolate that one comment, but you can't take it out of context of her entire political life. That's my point.
I think you can. I think you can say, listen, what she said was sexist. It was insulting to women. And if you don't stand up to that type of comment, that type of sexism as a party, you can't also go around and claim to champion women, because she insulted more than half of white women in our country in the most demeaning way possible. Jan, I do appreciate